Welcome to PixelTunes Radio, episode 16.
Ooh, indie time!
Oh man.
I've been looking forward to this episode.
Me too. This will be fun. We've got a lot of really good tracks lined up. By the way, I'm Mike.
I'm Ed.
And you are listening to our indie episode. So we are featuring a bunch of games with a bunch of indie developers that are releasing their stuff on modern day platforms, PC, Steam, but also releasing stuff on handhelds, modern day consoles, and even sometimes like older stuff where they're like going back and they're saying, hey, this belongs on the Dreamcast or the Super Nintendo.
Exactly. I guess we should talk about how we define indie and how we kind of selected these. So an indie title is anything not obviously put out by a major developer like Electronic Arts or Activision or anything like that.
Capcom.
Right. Generally they are developed in small offices using small teams of people, or sometimes they're even developed in their developers' bedrooms, you know? And so we've tried to pick indie titles that aren't just awesome in the music department, but also that we've had fun personal experiences in playing too. So we've got a good amount of really cool titles here with some really good soundtracks and a couple of exclusives coming up at the end.
Ooh, exclusives. I like the sound of that.
From unreleased games.
Oh, snap.
So we'll check those out.
Yeah.
So what's been going on with you, man?
Well, let's see. Let me think. Not much, really. Wonderful girlfriend has been working in our living room, getting our living room all ready to go, painting it and whatnot, and I was helping out throughout the week. I, primed it and everything. So, just like household stuff. Game-wise, not much. I picked up a pretty decent lot of games recently that I kind of sifted through and picked some of the stuff that I wanted to keep, sold some stuff, and made a little cash, which will help with bills. So,
nice.
Not much else, really. What about you?
Such a boring grown-up.
I know, right?
Man,
God.
do something interesting for a change.
Honestly.
Gosh. I've been actually checking out a lot of indie titles because I've been kind of refreshing my memory on the stuff that I wanted to pick.
Doing your homework?
Doing my homework, talking with some indie developers, getting some permission for using their songs on this stuff. So we'll get more into that later as we go through these titles. And I've been kind of getting my kid into some more classic games, which is nice.
Ooh.
He's obviously very big into the mobile platform, iPod, really into Minecraft, and I was trying to get him to start playing older NES games.
Okay.
And I felt that there was way too much of a jump between, Retina display graphics going all the way back to the NES. So I've been playing some Neo Geo games with him lately. We were actually sitting down and playing Shock Troopers yesterday, and he was loving it. So I think, those games have more that graphic style that a lot of the kind of retro throwback mobile games have nowadays, so he was a little more comfortable with it. So he kind of picked up Shock Troopers right away, and we were kind of blasting through enemies and having a lot of fun. So I think I'm going to start like on the Neo Geo and then maybe scale down to Super Nintendo, and as time goes on, try to get him all the way down to playing like Pong. That's my end goal.
Luck.
If I can get him to enjoy Pong.
Yeah.
He'll be like, Dad, what the heck is this?
Yeah, honestly.
Beep, boop, beep.
It's annoying.
Boop. Done.
I'm
Pong.
so done.
Yeah, so I'm going to raise a gamer. One of my two kids are going to end up being a retro. I mean, by the time they're our age, it's like Minecraft is going to be a retro game.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a super
man.
Retro gamer.
Man, I don't even want to think about that.
It's going to be ancient. I know.
You imagine a day when people are like, I remember when New Super Mario Brothers U came out.
Yeah.
I was 31.
Our grandkids are going to be like, creepers. Talk about retro.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh boy.
What do you say we start with some music?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
So the first title that we've chosen for you today is called Syder Arcade with a Y. S-Y-D-E-R.
D-E-R.
This is actually one of my picks. It's a really intense side-scrolling shoot 'em up that's available on mobile platforms and on the PC. I found out about it through, I believe it was one of the Humble Bundles included it.
Oh, so it's on Steam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's really cool. It's not like a side-scroller in the sense that the screen scrolls automatically and that you have to go through waves of enemies. You're kind of dropped in the middle of an area that's about, I'd say, like approximately 6 screens wide. And you can move yourself back and forth through this level, and waves of enemies come in from both sides. And so when you turn your ship to the left or to the right, you face to the left or right, you can shoot in that direction.
That's cool.
So it's almost like a twin stick shooter in that sense, but you can only, fire in two directions instead of using the other ship or the other stick to.
So it's a one stick, twin stick shooter. It's a one stick
with 1.5 stick shooter.
1.5
average
stick.
it out.
Yeah, like 2.5D. Yeah.
It's by a development studio called Studio Evil. You can check more of their stuff out at www.studioevil.com. And the music is actually from a member of, I believe he developed the game actually, Christian Meneghini. And he goes by the name XeviaN when he does music. And you can also check out his stuff at soundcloud.com/XeviaN360. The soundtrack to this game is absolutely amazing. It's got a lot of throwback, like Amiga Commodore style synths, mixed with elements of dubstep and modern dance and techno. Really keeps you going through the game because all of the graphics are a little more on the simple side. They're not throwback graphics, but I'd say they're probably like early PlayStation style graphics, but in a higher resolution.
Right.
The music is it's really, really cool. I think I used one of the tracks for the intro to one of our podcasts a while back, but it plays great on the PC, plays great on mobile platforms. It's really worth checking out. So this one is called I Must Not Fear, and it's some boss music. It's got some really cool, like, alert warning sirens in the front, and then drops in with this really nice dubstep beat over some cool techno and some retro style synths. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, no, this track is cool. I dig it. So here it is. This is I Must Not Fear.
Check it out.
Welcome back to PixelTunes Radio. That was...
Satisfaction!
Yeah, so we can't really say the name of this track.
Without getting banned by iTunes.
Yeah, unfortunately. But it's...
Satisfaction!
The best way to put it is take the word satisfaction and take out the ACT and put in a UCK.
No, I'll have to say that I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I you get the point. Well, it's a naughty word that's in between the word satisfaction.
Yeah, it's the F-bomb.
Yeah, basically.
Call it the F-bomb.
Yeah, the F-bomb. Yeah, we could say that. The
Satis
F-bomb. Yeah.
I think we've gone too far in explaining this name.
People are like, well, so wait, what's the name of the song? So this game, this actually is from a game called DLC Quest. It's a fun little indie title that came out on Xbox Live Indie. So DLC Quest and both the second game called DLC Quest Live Freemium or Die is the full name of the second game. Both soundtracks are by a guy named Ozzed. That's what he goes by online. And he actually does some really good stuff. I've downloaded some of his albums and he does some good work. Most of the songs are based in the style that you heard. He uses Family Tracker and it's like, chiptune, so it's Game Boy 8-bit, Commodore, C64, Nintendo type sounds.
Yeah, so this particular one was... It's NSF compatible, so this would have been composed to be played on a real NES.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. I really like this track.
This song. It's just all chords.
Cool.
I
really like the fact that it's a really chill, it's got a nice beat. I mean, the bass comes in, it's all like, time to be chill, and then the synth comes in, and it sounds really sharp and really good. So I dig it. Basically, you play as this guy who's, you can just call him Player, I guess.
Player guy.
Yeah, Player. And you're going through the game, and it's basically like a platformer type of game where you're jumping from platform to platform. And the whole point of the game, it's kind of like an RPG in a way. So you've got to collect coins, and when you collect coins, you can buy downloadable content. But it's in-game downloadable content. You don't actually have to pay for it out of your pocket. And the game is cheap. It's like $2 to buy this.
It kind of makes fun of the whole overdoing of DLC.
Oh, absolutely. Like, for example, when you start off in the game, you can't move left. So you have to move, right in order to get the right animation. So it's just really, really funny. There's stuff like that. There's all sorts of stuff where the game is unfinished. Like in the second game, this is so funny. The game's unfinished in a specific part. So they fill in... There's signs, so the whole screen is black and you're going through and it's really like that artsy thing that everybody's doing now where you could see the world, the background behind it, and it's all colorful, but the actual foreground and the images and the sprites are all black. And so...
Like silhouette style?
Right, like silhouette style. And you're going through and normally you could pass by and you'll see the names or the areas of these levels because they're all broken down into different parts. And the game is short. It's you could seriously beat it in 45 minutes to an hour. It's $2, but it's totally worth the $2 just for the laughs that you get. And so you're going through and you see this sign and you're like, oh, what's the name of this town? And it says, Alan, please add zone name. Meaning the game was unfinished and this guy Alan was supposed to add the zone name and he didn't. So
That's clever.
It's really clever, really funny. It's totally worth downloading. I downloaded both the regular game and the sequel thanks to my buddy Scott, who has actually been featured on this show in episodes 13 and 9? 8? What was the racing game episode?
It was the racing game episode and then Scott's
and
Picks.
Then Scott's Picks.
Scott's Picks was what, 13?
13, yeah. So Scott recommended that I check out DLC Quest. We played it for a bit, and I think I laughed pretty hard. I thought it was
I enjoyed it while I was watching.
It was really fun. It's fun to get a group of people down and just sit down and play through it, because seriously, you could beat both games within I think 2 hours, so it's well worth it.
Yeah. The music from this game is from an album called 8-Bit Empire.
Yes.
Which you can grab off of Ozzed.net.
Ozzed.net,
And then you can find out about Ozzed, his music, check out some of his other tracks, and I believe 8-Bit Empire is a free download, so you can go and grab it. He has a torrent, or you can download the tracks individually, or even get the NSF file if you want to play it through a real NES if you have the right equipment to do that. So. And
check out Going Loud Studios. That is the name of the studio that created the DLC Quest games. Check out their website. It's goingloudstudios.com.
So, you've never played Little Inferno, right?
I have not, no.
You really, really should.
I played World of Goo and on the Wii, actually. See, okay, so we should take a step back because we should really go over what type of gamers we are. So I'm very much the type of gamer that enjoys indie games, but only if they come out on consoles or handhelds. I'm not a Steam guy. In fact, one of the games that I picked was a game that I had been wanting for like forever to come out, which I'll get into a little bit later, but they never released it for a system, so I had to download Steam. And so I was like, I download Steam, and I downloaded it for, I think, you remember the game Dark Void for the Xbox 360? Nope. No? Okay, well there's a game that came out that Capcom made called Dark Void, and they made an 8-bit title called Dark Void. I think it's like Zero Mission or something. I can't remember the name of it. It's called Dark Void Zero, if I recall.
Okay.
And it's a 2D platformer. It's like one of those games where they're like, remember this game that didn't come out on the Nintendo? And like you have to blow on the cartridge when you start the game and like that whole thing. So it's a really cool game, really good music, but getting off the point, basically I downloaded Steam for this one game, bought
Never
it,
touched it again.
Played it for a little bit, was like, this is cool. And then when I got a 3DS, they had actually come out with it on the DSi. So I downloaded it on the eShop and was like, oh man, like I shouldn't have never bought it on Steam. But so that's my experience with Steam. So I know you're more of a Steam gamer. I know you're more of like I play it on whatever, man. I don't care.
I'm platform agnostic. I mean, and I've built my own PC, so I have the power to play, PC games with some decent graphics and frame rate. I also have a setup in my game room where the PC is directly connected to my TV, so I can sit on my couch with an Xbox controller and play PC games like I was playing on my Xbox. So it kind of keeps that environment similar for me. But anyways, Little Inferno is also out on the Wii U, so you can definitely check it out on that if you don't want to play it.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. It's created by the same team that did World of Goo, but it's nothing similar.
Yeah.
It's got this environment where it's kind of similar to a Tim Burton-esque atmosphere. It's dark and cartoony at the same time, characters with big giant eyes. But
I've seen the trailer.
Everything is dark and gray. And actually, the song, we're going to play 2 songs from this game. The first song is a kind of an ambient track. It's got kind of an uplifting theme. It plays more towards the end. And then the second song is called Little Inferno Just For Me, and it's kind of explains the premise of the game and why you're playing through it. The whole game is you're sitting in front of a fireplace, and you can order toys from a catalog and then burn them in the fireplace. And as you burn them, they interact with each other differently. And to unlock more toys to buy for the fireplace, you have to burn certain combinations of toys in succession, but it doesn't tell you which ones. The names of the combos should clue you into. So if it's like a one that says like morning, noon, and night, like you would need to burn like maybe like fried eggs, like a breakfast food, a lunch food, and a dinner food to figure out what this combination is. Then you get the combo, and then you would get more coins to unlock more stuff. It's pretty cool, and then there's a storyline built into the whole thing too, depending on how you're progressing through the game. It's a lot of fun. I really recommend checking it out. The guy who did the music, his name is Kyle Gabler. He also did the music for World of Goo. So the game takes place in like a dystopian retro future, I guess you could call it, where it's been snowing forever, and the world is getting colder. It's like a new ice age is coming, but it just keeps snowing and it doesn't stop. So you're keeping warm by burning all your toys. Is the kind of... It's
kind of like the Batman animated cartoon, where it's always winter, practically.
Yes. Yeah, it's really, really kind of similar to that, but on a much more tongue-in-cheek kids stuff. So yeah, Tomorrow Corporation is not only the company that's in the game, but it's also the company that developed the game as well. So
this is Over the Smokestacks, Over the City, and the second song is Little Inferno Just For Me.
Little Inferno Just For Me. Enjoy.
and breathe in the flaming potpourri. It's little Inferno just for me. But I thought playing with fire was dangerous.
Well, you're right. But up out of your chimney, way up in the sky, it's been snowing for years, and we just don't know why. Our world is getting colder. But there's no need for alarm. Just sit by your fire, burn all of your toys, and stay warm.
It's little Inferno, just for me. I've got the fireplace that burns at 100 billion degrees. It's little Inferno just for me.
Jerry Morris is a third-grade history teacher. He doesn't know that we've secretly switched his educational Oregon Trail game with the indie horror title Oregon Trail. Let's see what happens.
Okay, settle down, class. Let's see. It's Jonathan's turn to play Oregon Trail today. Jonathan, head to the computer table, please.
Oh man, that game was so boring.
The rest of you, open your books to Chapter 9. Now we're going to talk about the Civil War and Jefferson and Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln and all those guys and blah, 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 blah.
Wait a second. That's not how you spell Oregon. This isn't the same game.
Jonathan, what are you doing back there? I hope you're not having fun while learning.
Die, zombies, die!
What is this? Oregon Trail? Oh, this game is disgusting. Well, wait a second. Zombie on the left. Kill it. Okay, now stock up on... You're gonna need batteries and food. Yeah, and ammo. All right, let me have a turn. Yeah, die, zombies, die!
Oregon Trail, coming to schools nationwide. In your dreams, kids.
Welcome back to PixelTunes Radio.
I feel like I've just stepped into a Spike Lee film. So we're going from one tongue-in-cheek dark game to a second tongue-in-cheek dark game.
Yeah, true.
That was from Oregon Trail. And if you guys aren't familiar with Oregon Trail, you're probably not old enough to be listening to this podcast.
I remember Oregon Trail.
No, I mean, even my 8-year-old knows about Oregon Trail. They still play that, I guess,
it's
in
a new version of the game.
Yeah.
Do you remember playing it on like an Apple IIe
Of course,
computer?
man. I was in 4th grade.
Oh God, I don't even remember how old I was.
I mean, I remember it specifically from 4th grade, but
Yeah.
I played it all throughout my grade school career.
So I grew up in a town where it was a very little town, and what's really funny is that the town was the sort of place where technology, it wasn't a big technology town, you know what I mean? But we still had computers. Like the schools knew how important it was for young people to have computers. So growing up in this town, all the computers that we had were like so ancient. So I remember being in like 6th grade and playing on an Apple IIe. And I mean, that was like 94.
Well, I was playing on an Apple IIe in 4th grade, and I'm 5 years older than you, so that kind of tells you how old those computers were at that point.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that monochromatic green, green and darker green screen.
Oh man,
that
good
we played Oregon Trail on. So this game called Oregon Trail is a takeoff on Oregon Trail, which is essentially Oregon Trail but in a zombie-infested wasteland. So you and your friends pack into a station wagon and you're driving from the East Coast to Oregon, and you have to manage your party. You know, people get infected along the way. You've got to scavenge for supplies. You've got to trade your goods, whether it's batteries and tires and stuff for your car, or foods and med kits.
You gotta kill the banker first.
Yeah. Kill the banker?
Yeah.
You do that in Oregon?
Yeah, you kill the banker. Yeah, no, you intentionally kill the banker first. You didn't do that?
There's no.
There's a banker.
I'm not remembering.
Yeah, there was a banker in
Should have
Oregon.
played the original version first before going on to this one.
Yeah, no, that's true.
What good would killing the banker do?
I don't remember. I just remember I wanted to kill the banker.
Well, then that just makes you a robber.
No, but I remember like a friend of mine would want to kill the banker first. Like he told me about it, and I was like,
the wrong way.
All right, I'll just kill the banker, and I would kill the banker, and that was it. He would die of dysentery. Basically, you don't feed him, and you don't do anything with him. You know, like you don't take
That's
care
weird.
of him.
I don't know why you would kill your own party member.
Yeah, no, you.
I think your friend's a psychopath.
Yo, screw the banker.
These voices are telling me to kill the banker.
So yeah, Oregon Trail.
Yeah, I was playing Oregon Trail with my wife, and we named the party members after me and her and our 2 kids, and then we couldn't figure out. There's 5 party members and 4 members in our family, so the 5th party member's name was Trent.
Like Trent from
Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails.
Oh,
I don't know.
I thought you meant Trent from like Daria.
Yeah, no, it was Trent Reznor.
That'd be
because
really
we're Nine Inch
weird.
Nails fans, so we decided to take him along with us. And of course, he was the first one to get bitten.
Of
so
course.
You know,
zombie Trent Reznor.
But it's a fun game. It's a good life management simulation. I never got through it all the way because I'm just terrible at those kind of games.
Let me guess, you died of dysentery.
I did not die of dysentery. I
No.
died of getting infected by zombieism. The zombie virus.
I'm just gonna call that dysentery.
Right, but you can get dysentery in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Can you get dysentery in real life these days? I don't think you
Yeah,
can.
you can.
Really?
Yeah, it's caused by amoebas.
Oh, is it?
In different water supplies. So if you drank from like a stream that wasn't filtered,
Yeah.
then you can definitely get dysentery.
Why?
Like Montezuma's Revenge.
Yeah.
You know, that's essentially dysentery, but it's not as deadly now as it was back in the day.
True.
It's modern medicine. So
Just gotta boil that water and let it cool.
Exactly.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine going back to those days where you had to boil water?
Once the inevitable zombie apocalypse happens, you'll have to do that all over
again.
again.
That is true. That is true.
Only this time the flames will attract the undead.
Just gotta go to Oregon.
Yeah, I don't know what's in Oregon
I don't know.
this game that... You still have to get to Oregon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gold Rush.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe
you gotta get all that gold. Those
maybe
zombies hate gold.
Maybe all those hippies in Seattle are like all organic, so none of them have changed.
You
I
gotta
don't
make
know.
golden bullets, with all the gold.
Yes.
From Oregon. You know what they should do? They should make a game called Oregano Trail.
Oregano Trail.
And you have to get to.
You have like
Oregon.
Guy Fieri with you, and all these cooks.
Your wife,
Rachel Ray.
Your wife dies of Rachel Rayism.
Sorry, what?
What would Rachel Rayism be? Is that
Annoyism? You would die of a hoarse throat and an awful cooking show.
Rachel Ray's.
I like
I
Rachel
don't know.
Ray.
She's pretty hot. I don't know.
You would die of drowning in extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah,
That's what would happen.
Yeah, that's what would happen. Yeah, it'd be like Julia Childs. She's just drowning in butter.
Oh, now we're going to drown in butter. The music from Oregon Trail was created by Ben Crossbones, who you can check more of his music out at crossbonesstudios.com. I really, really like the soundtrack to this game. It's very dirgy, kind of reminds me of like goth rock, typo negative style, but mixed with like Commodore and Amiga style synths, and the music plays throughout the game, and it's just very low and understated, but kind of gives you that theme where there's an apocalypse happening, but it's also like a retro Commodore Apple IIG apocalypse. So yeah, if you go to crossbonesstudios.com, you can definitely check out more of his stuff. He's got stuff from the Oregon Trail OST and also some original stuff. It's really good, so definitely check it out.
Cool.
So let's move on to 1001 Spikes.
1001 Spikes. It's a crazy game.
Tell me about it, because I haven't played it yet.
All right. So the full title name is Aban Hawkins and the 1001 Spikes.
Aban. It's like just one letter short of a Ray-Ban.
Yeah.
Does he wear sunglasses?
No.
Bummer.
No. This is very much like if you took La Mulana, which is another really good indie game.
Mm-hmm. Which we played on Brian's Picks.
We did, yes. And so if you take La Mulana and take out all the Castlevania type of stuff where you're jumping and, it's like an open world sort of thing, this is very much like level to level. And the game is basically, oh my god, so brutally hard. So you get 1001 lives actually in this game.
Wow.
Yeah. So after you hit 0, you're dead. You have to start the entire game all over again.
So is the only thing that can kill you is spikes? Is that?
No.
Oh.
So there's all sorts of stuff. It's basically a platformer where you go from place to place and you can get there's different levels in the game where you go through and you can collect like these little items, these little like tombstone type thingies. I don't know, like idols. I don't know what you would call them, but like these basically like Olmec from Legends of the Hidden Temple. It's like collecting little statue Olmecs.
Yeah, little idols. Okay.
Yeah. And so you get those. You have to basically you go to the end gate, and that's how you beat the level. So you're basically going from world to world, going through. There's tons of challenge. I mean, it's booby trap central. You're going through and you're trying to go through the game. It's basically the sort of situation where there's one specific way to go through a level, and you just have to figure out that way how to go. So it's kind of like a platform puzzle type thing.
And it's like a 4-player game too, right?
It has some multiplayer modes that are really fun. So they expanded the game quite a bit, and they've made it. This has been coming out for years. I mean, they've developed it and published it on Xbox Live Indie, and then it was out on Steam and everything, and then they really built on the game, and they created these multiple modes for like the Wii U version and the PS4 and everything, where you can go and choose. It's kind of funny. It's like throwback stuff. So you could pick like a knight, which looks like it gives you armor that makes you look like you're Arthur from Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Nice. There's like a tunic that you can wear that makes you look like Simon Belmont, which is really cool. And so they have that. They have Kratos. They have like a bunch of characters that you could play as.
Oh, Commander Video's in it.
Yeah,
too.
Commander Video.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a bunch. The indie community really jumped on this, and they helped with developing. So it's a really, really fun game. I highly recommend it. If you liked Super Meat Boy, you will love 1001 Spikes, because it's that same sort of like torturous platformer. It takes a lot from the MSX soundboard for the audio. So a lot of the audio is straight out of like Nintendo MSX style. And this track that we're going to play from Van Hawkins and the 1000 Spikes is called Mysterious Water. It's also known as World 3. The track was written by Tad Nuznov, who is also known as RushJet1, who some people may know him as online, and also Misoka Panipum. So those are the composers that are listed for that. Totally sounds like something that RushJet1 would create musically. You've heard RushJet1, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And he's kind of, I mean, obviously even by his name, very inspired by Mega Man stuff.
But this is way more laid back.
Yeah.
The feeling that I got from this song is that everything is climbing, like rising, falling action, sort of, so that do, it's going up and down. You get a lot of that in this song. So let's talk more music.
You can check out RushJet1's music at nsf.4x86.com. And then he's got some music from 1001 Spikes and some of the stuff that he's made on Famine Tracker over there as well.
Yes, definitely go check that stuff out because it's really good. So here it is, Mysterious Water, World 3.
At last, I, Shovel Knight, have reached the lair of the evil Tinker Knight.
I'm not evil.
Oh, is that so? Well, prove it to me. Surrender at once.
Don't think so, Shovel Knight. But I'll show you something I've been working on for quite some time.
Is this where you show me your nefarious creation that you've built?
No, this is where I show you the Tuggy.
The Tuggy?
Yes, the Tuggy. Are you tired of being cold when you go to reach for a leg of ham while enjoying a court jester's show? Well, you need the Tuggy. The Tuggy is a blanket with sleeves, which...
Wait a minute.
What?
That already exists.
How would you know?
My creators, it's all that they talk about. Oh, a blanket with sleeves. So annoying.
Oh, okay. Well... Time for nefarious creations!
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured.
The Tuggy, not for sale, ever. Welcome back to PixelTunes Radio.
Indie special.
So that was Shovel Knight.
I don't know. I've never heard of this game before.
No, you shut up, you. This is an amazing game. So
I think you've talked about this probably for the last, 4 or 5 episodes?
Oh my god.
You've mentioned Jay Kaufman
Yeah.
and or Shovel Knight at least once.
Yeah, I kind of like this.
He's a little
game.
obsession. Just a little.
This game is so good.
Well,
It
you
is
originally funded it on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I was one of the people that funded it on Kickstarter because I was like, this is awesome. This totally deserves to be a game. And I believed in, these whole... The game was created by Yacht Club Studios. And so they are a group of ex-WayForward employees, which, I don't know, personally, I would consider WayForward a AAA company at this point. Because of all the games that they make, they publish a lot of titles. Yeah, they're kind of like an in-between.
AAA, well, I reserve AAA for companies that get other development studios to do their work for them.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like EA will buy Criterion and they will make games for them. Like they don't really have, they might have started off as a development house, but they're doing less and less of their own work and getting other people to do...
True.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's indie and there's AAA, but then there's also a whole slew of in the middle.
Let's just call WayForward
Double A
in the
or
middle.
single A.
Double A batteries.
WayForward is definitely in the middle. They're definitely not AAA,
Okay.
but I think they're definitely not
Yeah, I could,
indie anymore.
I could feed off that.
However, Yacht Club I would consider
Indie, definitely.
If you're doing a Kickstarter, generally that means you're indie because you don't have your funding coming from anywhere else. You need to have that funding before you start the game from the fans of the game.
I didn't donate much for Shovel Knight. I mean, I donated to be able to basically buy the game. So I think I paid like $15 for it.
So you only shoveled out a little bit.
I shoveled out. I did a lot for Shantae, the new Shantae game. I donated $200.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, the amount of stuff that you were getting with it, I was like, that's totally worth it. So.
Does that get you like a steamy night with Shantae herself?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
over and-
Oh yeah. Man. Hot stuff. Shovel Knight was produced by Yacht Club Studios, and of course, Jake Kaufman did the soundtrack. Love this guy. Love his music. Good stuff. I really, really love this track, and I'll explain why. The drums alone in the beginning. I don't even know if you would call them drums. They're obviously the drum samples that they use.
I like to call it percussion.
Percussion, yeah. I don't know. It's freaking amazing. It's really, really good. The beginning just sounds... I mean, this track is called High Above the Land, the Flying Machine. This is when you are fighting, or when you're going through the level for the flying level, basically. This game is very much Mega Man meets, like, Mega Man. I don't know.
So it's Mega Man 2.
Mega Man meets DuckTales, I would say.
Okay,
because you
perfect.
Get the
shovel
ability with the
mechanic.
shovel mechanic
It's like
and
the
everything.
cane from DuckTales.
Exactly. So, but the game is very much Mega Man. So you're going through and you're going through the land and you're fighting all these bad guys to save your companion Shield Knight. I haven't beaten the game yet. I'm really, really close to beating it, but it's one of those games where I've been steadily playing it, where it's actually kept my attention. I'm the type of gamer where I don't play games and just blow through them and focus on one game. I'll play 5 games at a time and I'll never beat any of them. But I enjoy playing them. Whereas for for example, the Saints Row games, I could freaking blow through those. Like, I freaking love those games. So it's the same thing with Shovel Knight. When I got it, I was pumped for it. I donated for it. I've been following the game on Twitter and Kickstarter and everything. So I got the game, and it's fantastic. If you haven't picked up Shovel Knight, it's out on the Wii U, 3DS, and I believe Steam as well.
Yep, sure is.
Yeah. And so it's definitely recommended by me, by yours truly, by Mike.
I know, I still haven't played it yet. As much as you've talked about
You're
it.
a fool, Charles.
It's the money thing, man.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
I need to like have like 7 games that I can buy for like $10 for me to be able to justify the money.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, well, you know, now that maybe I'll be having a little more money going forward, I'll be able to
Gotta make that happen.
spend a little more money on some games.
Shovel Knight.
But
Anyways,
speaking of which,
Yes.
an excellent way to introduce yourself to indie titles is by signing up with humblebundle.com. They're an organization that they get indie developers to offer their games in bundles, and you can purchase them all for like one low price. So basically you can set your price. You can donate as little as 50 cents, I think, if you want to.
Yeah.
But you can choose how much of that money that you've given them goes to charity, how much goes to directly to the developers, and then how much you want to go to the Humble Bundle company or organizations to continue doing their stuff. So I think all of the games that I've picked for this episode have come from Humble Bundles. And they also give you the soundtrack along with the games, too, for a good 90% of them. So it's a great way to get interested in the music and the games themselves and to listen to all that great music that they're putting out. So for Shovel Knight, Jake Kaufman used FamiTracker. We've said that before.
Yeah.
And because kind of like my thing on the internet is making stereo mixes of NES games, I was able to use the files that he created for the NES to make my own exclusive stereo mix of the entire Shovel Knight soundtrack, which you can find by popping by my forum thread on Final Fantasy Shrine forums. Just search for Ruiner 9 Shovel Knight. It'll pop right up.
Yeah, if you do a Google search for that, that's how I get to it.
I think I also put it on our Facebook page a couple weeks back, too.
Yeah, we'll
so
post
you
it
can get a
again.
link.
We'll post it again.
It's good stuff.
We love you guys. We'll post it again.
Excellent. So now we're moving on to Oniken.
Oniken. Yes.
This was a very sweet game.
I really like this game. It is a pleasant mix of old school platformers, kind of like a hybrid between NES and Master System, sort of. Really good stuff.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it until you actually picked it for this show, so I went and checked it out, and it's fun.
This is the only game, as I was saying before, I'm not a big Steam guy, I'm not a big computer guy. I love computers, love working on computers, but I am not a Steam guy. I am through and through a classic gamer, retro gamer, and even modern gamer in some aspects. But my heart is with consoles, physical collections, and copies. I also do digital stuff as well. I got a ton of digital downloads. But I would honestly say that I was really bummed when this game did not come out to the Wii U and 3DS, or, because it would be perfect. It is a pleasant mix of, I guess you could say, Ninja Gaiden, Vice Project Doom, and Kabuki Quantum Fighter in a lot of ways. Really cool platform action adventure type game.
I felt a lot of Power Blade and Shatterhand.
Power Blade
too.
Yep, Shatterhand. Yeah, no, it's such a great game. Music's good for it as well. I mean, you'll hear some of the tracks in just a minute. We're going to do 2 tracks. They're both of the same song. One version is going to be non-arranged. It's got a little bit of a slow build to it, but then it works up and it gets kicking, and it's really good stuff. And then we're going to go into the arranged version that you'll hear in the trailer, which is awesome. So if you download the game on Steam, since that's the only way to get it, you can get the game, and as Ed said, you can get the soundtrack as well. The developers allow you to download the soundtrack, and that's how I got it, so that's how you guys are going to listen to it.
Yeah, you can also check it out on oniken.net, and that'll just give you some more information about the developers. You can check out their Facebook page as well.
Yeah, so they're working on some other games too.
Yeah, who made the music for this one?
We got a couple people that worked on the soundtrack. Bruno, Araujo, Joao,
Felipe Santos.
Felipe Santos, Tiago Augusto Santos, Thommaz Kaufmann, and Wendell Jean Cusi. That's what is in the actual manual of the game itself, I believe. And
so the non-arranged, the game version is wavetable synth, so it sounds very similar to like a Master System or NES, but then the arranged soundtrack is pretty cool.
Yeah, the arranged soundtrack is just like full-on like hard rock guitars and everything. It's just got a really great driving 80s sound to it. It's really good stuff. I prefer that over the original, but the original is still really good. All the music in the game is really fantastic. Definitely check it out.
If we haven't convinced you to check the game out, just really no. Go to Steam, search Oniken, watch a video of it. Just the combination of the art style and the gameplay elements. If you enjoyed any single action game for the NES or the Super Nintendo when you were growing up, I think it'll convince you to go check this game out.
Check it out. The song is called Warrior's Journey. And again, this is the it sounds like Sega Master System mixed with Nintendo a little bit for the inspiration. But so this is the 8-bit version and then the arranged version. So
check it out, boys and girls.
Let's listen to it. Oh man, I feel like I just woke up. That was Fez, Disaster Piece. Name of the song is Compass. Is this ringing a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that song kind of hypnoptized me into
Yeah.
a stupor here.
Yeah.
It's so chill.
Yeah.
It's just like chords and
Oh
I
boy.
feel like I just got a massage.
That's what you have to do every time you listen to this. I used to fall asleep to this soundtrack when I lived in my old apartment.
Yeah?
Yeah, for like a good solid year.
Did you have little dreams of little pasty white 8-bit guys with fezzes running through your head as you were sleeping?
No, it was really chill though. I mean, this soundtrack, the whole soundtrack is really awesome. It's all pretty much the same type of stuff. Very chill. There's a couple tracks that are more upbeat and more, I would almost call them even like dubsteppy type. Sort
Yeah,
of.
they had kind of a
Little
techno
bit.
feel to
Couple
it.
like the track called, I think it's called Death. That song is very like all over the place. But yeah, most of the tracks are very chill, very relaxed, and it perfectly suits the atmosphere. I mean, the whole soundtrack, if you like Tangerine Dream or you like anything that's just like really like ambient, chill, electronic music with plenty of like Moog style synthesizers, then you're gonna love Fez's soundtrack. The game was developed by Phil Fish, who is, I guess you could say, a controversial member of the indie community.
Yeah, he's very outspoken.
Yeah.
But fantastic game.
game
Kind of
is-
introduced that 2D/3D platforming using perspective as kind of its main gameplay element, where you could rotate the level in 3 dimensions, but then all sense of depth would kind of compress in on itself when it went 2D, and you can use that rotated level. It's really hard to explain unless you're actually watching a video of it, but suffice to say, it kind of added a whole new element of gameplay to the platforming genre.
Yeah, this game was developed over a series of years, if I recall. And I mean, it was worth all the time and effort that was spent. I think it's a great game.
Definitely.
I wish I could actually sit down and finish it. I've played quite a bit of it. It's available on a lot of different avenues. I believe it's PC, Steam, and of course Xbox, like Xbox Live.
Yep. Music was composed by Disaster Piece, who otherwise goes by the name of Rich Vreeland. Well, that's his real name. I'm kind of getting them backwards. Yes, he was born Disaster Piece, but his online moniker is Rich Vreeland. So he's done over 40 albums, but he's an extremely prolific artist.
Oh, yeah.
He's
He's
done
done
music for
tons of
games,
music.
he's done his own stuff. You know, he's been to GDC, and he does public speaking about music. Really cool. He kind of was active in the development of Fez while it was being created, which is why I think the music matches so well with the gameplay. You can check his stuff out at disasterpiece.com. Now keep in mind it's disaster piece, peace as in the opposite of war. I used to think it was like a piece of disaster,
piece of
P-I-E-C-E,
yeah.
but it's actually disasterpeace.com. Definitely check his stuff out. He's got a lot of amazing stuff. You can get the Fez OST from there. You can also get the Fez Side F soundtrack from there, which is like music done by other artists that was kind of inspired by
That's really cool.
Fez the game, or potentially might have been scheduled for the sequel to Fez, which development was halted on rather quickly for various reasons. But we won't go into that now. That's it for Fez, man. That was a fun game. I had a lot of good memories from that
That was
game.
good stuff. I like that game.
So you guys ready for some exclusives?
No.
Are you ready for an exclusive, Mike?
No.
You're not? Okay, well, this is the end of
now I
PixelTunes
am.
Radio. All right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we'll be back in 2 weeks. So you guys may have heard of Gaijin Games, which created the Bit Trip series.
Oh, I love those games.
So Bit Trip Runner, Bit
Love
Trip Fate.
Yeah, Bit Trip Runner was great.
All
The
that
first
stuff.
both games in the series
Yes.
was great.
Gaijin Games had a subsidiary called RoboTube Games, and RoboTube Games was more of the kind of experimental mobile stuff. And RoboTube was headed up by Jason Cirillo, who happens to be a very good friend of mine. And so I remember back when we were talking about the Game Boy Advance, when I said I had a friend from Japan, pre-ordered the Game Boy games.
That was
him.
the Game Boy Advance episode.
Yep. So that was him. He used to live a couple towns over from me. We would hang out all the time. He's since moved out to California to be a member of Gaijin Games. And they've recently changed their name over to Choice Provisions, which you can see their stuff at totallychoice.com. And then RoboTube Games became MiniVisions. So again, it kind of all brings that fact that they're doing the mobile and the smaller games through that RoboTube, which is now MiniVisions. So this game is called Whoa Dave, And it's gotten...
Whoa, Dave!
Whoa, Dave! It's gotten a lot of press on like Destructoid and Kotaku, and people have been talking about it a lot. It's a one-screen throwback to games like Bubble Bobble, Dig Dug, that kind of old Namco feel, like Mappy Land, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Like
you
arcade
play,
style, classic arcade
you
style.
play as this little guy named Dave, which looks like to me he kind of looks like Bert from Sesame Street, but super deconstructed down to like just his bare pixels.
It's just like a chin.
Yeah, exactly.
No hair.
It's just a big red nose with eyes and two little feet.
Yeah.
And there's a level full of like little green enemies running around, and there's eggs and skulls, and you pick up the eggs and the skulls and you throw them at the enemies to destroy them and collect coins, but the eggs eventually grow into enemies, so you kind of have to manage the screen where you're picking up and throwing these eggs and killing the enemies at the same time. It's a lot of fun. The object is to collect coins and earn money, and the more money you earn, the faster the game goes, the more the game progresses, and the more the music progresses as well. And you can unlock Bonkers Mode, which if you get I think $1.50 worth of coins, you get 10 cents per coin.
Bonkers Mode.
And I haven't gotten to Bonkers Mode yet. I've played the game quite a bit, but
Missing out, man.
I got up to like 40 cents, and it just gets crazy. So the game is a lot of fun. I really recommend checking it when it finally comes out. It's going to be released on 3DS, Steam, Vita, iOS, Android, maybe some other platforms depending on how things go.
So, do you want to hear my rendition of what I think the soundtrack to WoW, or the intro theme to WoW Dave?
We were riding in the car before this, and he came up with the theme song for WoW Dave.
You guys ready for
Jay,
this?
I apologize, but go ahead.
Whoa, Dave. Whoa, Dave. Whoa, Dave. And then there'd be like wheedly guitars like in the background, like Whoa, Dave. Whoa, Dave.
We should make the PixelTunes Radio remix of Whoa Dave. And it'll just be you.
PixelTunes Radio. PixelTunes Radio. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a really like chuggy, like whoa, Dave. Like, I don't know.
Maybe for a trailer.
Yeah.
Just have you beatbox over a trailer.
Yeah, so listen, Jay, buddy, pal, we've never met, but call me.
The mobile platforms are going to be single player, single screen. Big screen versions are going to be 2-player simultaneous, which is going to be really cool because there's a lot of good action going on. Jason actually made all the music himself, and it's
That's
kind
cool.
of procedurally generated music, so it builds up as it goes.
Except for that track that Mike Levy made.
Yeah, that's going to be the version that ends up getting on the cutting room floor somewhere. MiniVisions was able to actually get us an exclusive cut of the background music for the game.
So this is a mix of a bunch of tracks.
Essentially, it's not a mix of a bunch of tracks, but it's the progression of the music as you go through the game as the difficulty level starts ramping up. So it's going to take you through like how it starts off at the very beginning of the game, and then by the end of the track, it's going to be like how it is if you're a super expert player at the game. So it's kind of an exclusive thing that we're able to do. You can definitely go to, like I said before, totallychoice.com. You can access both the Totally Choice games and the MiniVisions games. Find out more about Whoa Dave. Definitely download it on your platform of choice when it comes out, because I think this one is going to be a huge hit. Word. Yeah, let's go take a listen to Whoa Dave from Jason Cirillo and MiniVisions.
Whoa, Dave.
No, Dave. No.
All right, we are back, and that was from Thrive Games' game.
Yep, that was our second exclusive.
Yeah.
So that is a song called Burnt and Battered Tapestry from Nathan Dvorak, who is both the creator and the music developer of this game that Thrive is putting out. Now, they're being pretty tight-lipped about the game. They've released a couple pieces of art, a couple pieces of backstory, which seems to be heavily fantasy-inspired, and 2 pieces of music so far. But the game itself, they've been very secretive, so I'm very excited to see what this game is going to be about.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So you can go to thrivegames.net. That's kind of their landing page. I'm sure they're probably going to have more content there in the future, but you can, from there, kind of kick off to their Twitter page, their Facebook page, YouTube, SoundCloud. That's where you can find all the information out about them. If you want to go directly to their Twitter, it's Thrive905 is their Twitter handle. So these guys are relatively newcomers to the indie scene. They formed in April of 2014, so just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So they're pretty early on in development. They've got a really cool kind of release schedule. So if you follow their Twitter account, every Tuesday, Nathan Dvorak is going to be releasing some original music. It's going to be very chiptune inspired, like that Burnt and Battered Tapestry song. I really like that tune. It's got kind of a, like when I first heard it, it kind of reminded me of some of the throwback Hotline Miami songs, but like if Hotline Miami took a whole bunch of Xanax and just kind of chilled out. And then on Thursday, the hashtag Tellin' Tales, their narratologist Jim Malloy is going to reveal details about the storyline behind the as of yet named game. And then on Saturday, creative director Parker Martin is going to release some pixel art. So they've released a couple cool graphics and screenshots of the assets that they're going to be using for the game. So like I said, man, I don't have too much to talk about with the game itself because there's not a lot of details out yet. I'm really excited to see how this game comes out, though, and we will definitely stay in touch with these guys at Thrive and let you know as things go forward how things are going.
Sounds good. So that wraps up our indie episode.
Yeah.
A lot of really chill tracks. I noticed that not as much high energy stuff, but, you know, I think we could fix that next time.
Yeah, next time, we've already got our schedule for next show. So in 2 weeks, RPG battle themes. Oh man, I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna know that mostly everything we're gonna be playing in 2 weeks is gonna be some high energy.
Put this stuff on when you go to the gym, man.
Ballless to the walless kind of stuff.
Yes, it's gonna be good stuff. I'm gonna enjoy it.
And also, indie developers, we are definitely interested in helping you guys promote your songs. We want to get in contact with you. You can email us at pixeltunesradio@gmail.com. Even if we're not doing an in-depth indie show, if your game fits into a particular theme that we're going to be playing, like racing, fighting, simulation, whatever it is.
We'll toss a track in
Yeah,
there.
we can definitely toss a track in there. We can talk and kind of help promote each other. So
Jay Kaufman, call me.
yeah. And what, Disasterpiece? Was he going to call you too?
Yeah, no, they're both gonna call me.
What are they going to call you?
Ghostbusters.
Jerk.
It'd be funny if I got a phone call like tomorrow. And
This
Jay
is
Kaufman's
Kaufman.
he's just like Ghostbusters, then just hangs up.
We'll just give out your number on the air. How's that?
Hey guys, call me. Call me.
He's already in bed with Way Forward in all the right ways.
That's
so
true.
He's not gonna give you any sort of booty call.
Yeah, steamy way forward.
So guys, definitely follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We've always got cool content that we post on social networks in between shows, some more in-depth looks on games that we visited. Sometimes songs that didn't make the cut. Mike or I will post some songs that are directly related to the episode that we've just done. And, feedback, obviously. PixelTunesRadio.com is a great place to leave feedback and comments about what you thought.
That's right.
Tweet at us. Follow me at Ruiner9 on Twitter, and follow Mike in these social media venues.
Yeah, so I'm on youtube.com/dongle. My show is called Dude, You Haven't Played This Game. And of course, you could follow me on Twitter at DYHPTG. The initials for Dude, You Haven't Played This Game. Creative, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
When I first found out your Twitter handle, I was trying to pronounce it, and I was like, like it didn't make any sense. And then it dawned on me that it's dude, you haven't played this game in acronym form.
Figured that's a lot easier, and Mike Tendo wasn't available. That's the acronym I tried to...
Bummer.
Yeah.
You should have done Mike Tendo with like a 1 instead of the I.
No, that's lame.
I know, I'm just kidding. Nobody does that.
That's lame. That's silly.
Nobody does that.
Alright guys, peace out. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Get your swords and shields ready for RPG battle themes.
I'm already fighting my demons. See you in 2 weeks, guys.
See you later.